Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am so excited to bring you this video. I am doing this gorgeous dark teal smoky eye on one of my friends and coworkers. She's absolutely stunning, and I really wanted to do a video on someone with a deeper skin tone, just to give you guys some tips and tricks on working with different skin tones, just so in case you're like unsure of yourself or you just want some tips and tricks in general, I'm gonna give you those things as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I will say that this video was such a shit show. I am so terrible at filming on other people. I literally forget to do everything, which I will bring up in the video as I go. But yeah, this is the look, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So to start out with, I am filling in her brows. So this is Stud Brow Pencil from MAC, and I'm going in very lightly, just filling in the more sparse areas towards the tail of the brow. And then when I go in the front, I prefer to just keep most of the product on the lower part of the brow and then flick up the pencil like I do on myself. After that, I'm going to take a little bit of MAC's NC45 Pro Longwear Concealer and just use that to clean up under her brow a little bit and give it more of a defined look. Again, I put more of my product towards the end of the brow, and then towards the front, I'm just sort of like feathering it in and blending it in because I don't want it as strong at the front of the brow as I have it at the end of the brow. And then I'm also going to be taking that same concealer and applying that all over the lid as an eyeshadow base. And as you can see, I'm working from a petri dish to stay sanitary. So once I have a little layer of that all over, I'm just using a beauty blender to blend that all in. After that, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Soft Glam palette, and I'm using the shade Burnt Orange first. And I'm placing this in her crease as our initial transition shade so that everything blends out super nice and easily. I'm doing that like just kind of fluffing it on with this MAC 224 brush. And then after that, I'm going to go with the next shade next to that, which I believe is Sienna. And I am just going to start building up the crease a little bit. So I'm just deepening up the outer corner, placing my brush in the outer corner first, and then starting to pull that across the crease and kind of blending that into the burnt orange shade we put down first, and then kind of building up as I go, and make it as deep as you want it to be. After that, I'm taking a MAC 222, which is discontinued, but any sort of small, thin blending brush will work. And I'm taking the shade Mulberry, and I am deepening up the crease even more. You guys know I do this on myself, I do this on other people. It's just a great technique to get a nice blended look and really building up the depth of the colors. So again, placing that in the outer corner first and then starting to buff that in. As I said in my last video I did on someone else, I really love to take my time and build up the colors, but also, as you can see, I'm not really being heavy-handed on her. I'm not grabbing her head in a vice grip. Just gently kind of lay your fingers on someone is best. So then I'm going to take the shade, the black shade from the palette, I think it's Noir, and I'm kind of building that up on the lid and then blending between that black shade and the Mulberry shade. At this point in time, I realized, oh my god, I had not turned on my ring light this whole time and I was just working with like my side lights. I'm an idiot. So you will see a little bit of a change in lighting here in a second because I finally realized what in the world I was doing. So here's the last clip with the darker lighting. But again, same on the other side, just building up that black shade and then buffing it out into the other shades we already had down with the Mulberry color. And again, just going back and forth with each color just to make sure you get a really nice transition from the black into all the browns we put down. So then, of course, my video camera, it ran out of film, and then I didn't realize it. So at this point, I'd basically done the next step, which is I'm taking Teal Me More from Dose of Colors, from another Block Party Shadows, and I just put down a little bit of Too Faced glitter glue, and then I pressed that on top just to give a nice pop of color. And then I'm going to be going in with some liner. This is the Maybelline Gel Liner in the color Black is Black, and it's just my favorite, one of my favorite gel liners. I love it on other people. I know it's going to stay on and it's going to look bomb, and it makes a beautiful wing liner. So just applying that across her eyelid and then in a little wing shape. And then if you can see, I am working again off of not my hand, I'm working off of a little bit of a spatula thingamajiggy, and again, that's just to be sanitary and everything. And the brush I'm using for that is a MAC 210 brush. So again, we're just going to be doing that on the other side. I just wanted to show you a little bit more of, you know, me doing eyeliner on someone else. If you can see, I kind of put my hands around the sides of her face as well, just to get my lighting even so I can see how even each eyeliner is on each side. But it's never going to be perfect, so like don't drive yourself nuts. I always tell my clients that, like, we're going to get it really close, but it's never going to be perfect, and like the world will not end. So then I'm putting on some MAC in Extreme Dimension mascara, and then I'm using the Salon Perfect. I believe this is, oh goodness, I can't remember the number. I will put it down below, but these are from Salon Perfect brand, which is from Wally World. One of my favorites. Use these on other people. I don't care. They are great. It doesn't matter where you get them from as long as they look good. So now I'm going to move on to the face. I'm putting on some Natural Radiance Primer from MAC. This is one of my favorite primers. I don't really use primer in the sense of like making my makeup stay on longer. It's more for me to prep the skin and make the skin look really good, and that's why I like that one. For her foundation, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick, and I'm starting with the shade F15 and just placing that around her face, more so on the perimeter, and then under her eyes and in the center of her face I'm using the same stick but in the shade F12, and that's just going to brighten it up a little bit. And then to make the transition from the highlight to the deeper edges of her the outer part of her face and make it really seamless so the light blends into the deeper shade really nicely, I'm taking the MAC Studio Finish Concealer in the shade F15. Sorry, hello, not F15, we already did that, NC50. And I'm just putting that basically in between where that the light shade and the deep shade meet, and it'll basically, like I said, make them melt together really nicely. And then I'm just blending that in with a beauty blender again. It's like a damp beauty blender, you know, same old as I usually do. Excuse the fact that I look like holy hell in this video. It was early, you know, I didn't have any makeup on, in mom mode, you know, looking a hot mess, but it's okay. So again, just blending that all in, and this is just kind of our initial base color. That under eye part was not like, you know, her concealer at this point. So as you can see, we kind of helped bring all the tones of the face together. Sometimes in deeper women, you will find that they have a tendency to have a deeper color on the out part of their face and lighter in the center of the face. It's just a little more pronounced than on a lighter skin person. So that's why I go in with 2 different color foundations to really help match that and blend them together. And then under her eye, I swear to God, if I see another person put a ton of orange on a deep skin tone woman, like, I'm gonna lose my shit. You don't need to put bright orange just because someone has dark skin. It is not necessary. So as you can see here, for under her eyes, she had a little bit of darkness, nothing crazy. I just went in with a concealer a little lighter than her skin, and then just mixed a tiny bit of the bright orange corrector from this MAC palette, and I mixed it in with her under eye concealer. And as you can see, it really covered and really color corrected, but you don't need to go like absolutely insane with bright orange. It's way too much, okay? So then I brighten the center of her face with the yellow, deep yellow shade that's in that MAC color correcting palette. And then I'm just setting under her eyes with a little bit of Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC in the color dark, or sorry, not dark, this is medium tan. And just using a little Morphe brush to set that, and then using the dark deepest Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC with a bigger fluffier brush just to set the rest of her face. And as you can see, this brush is kind of having a day. It's struggling and shedding everywhere, yeah, so I'm just using that to set the rest of her face. And then we're gonna go in with some cheek color products. I'm using Film Noir blush from MAC to contour. If you can tell, I'm using a lot of face products from MAC. I feel like MAC just does work in terms of great face products for women with a deeper skin tone. I think they've always done a great job, and they still kill the game in like undertones and like colors that are deep enough that really show up and are pigmented enough to show up on deeper skin tones. So that's why that's like kind of like my go-to. So I used that Film Noir blush to contour, and now I am taking Burnt Pepper blush from MAC to obviously use as blush, a beautiful, like nice warm shade that really goes with a lot of different makeup looks. For anyone with a deeper skin tone, if they're coming in, or if a makeup artist is coming in saying like, hey, I need a really good blush for a darker skin tone, this is it. It is like one of my favorites. So now I am highlighting her face, and for this I'm using the darkest bronzy shade in the Sun Dipped Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and applying that on her cheekbones, and then I'm going to go in and apply it kind of down the center of her face as well. And I love this shade. This particular shade is really beautiful, great undertone. It looks like nice and bright and highlighted, but it doesn't look like ashy or anything like that, so I really love this color a lot, and I'm just kind of bringing that down the center of her face as well, and very lightly highlighting on her skin just to give her like a little bit of a nice natural glow. I'm then also going to take this shade on my finger and just use that to highlight the inner corner of her eye. And another hygiene tip, anytime you're touching someone's face, I always like to make sure the client sees me apply hand sanitizer on my skin before I touch their face. I think it just kind of makes them feel a little better about someone touching their face, so I always make sure I do that in front of them before I go in with my fingers for anything. So now we're going to finish the bottom of the eye. I am taking Noir and applying that underneath her eye first, and we're going about, I would say, like halfway across her lower lash line with that shade, and I'm using a MAC 242, which I also used on the lid, and using that to kind of apply that along her lash line. And then after that, I am going back with the Mulberry shade on a MAC 224, no, just kidding, a 217, and using this brush to blend the black into the Mulberry shade and kind of smoke out the lower lash line a little bit. And then once that is on there and it looks all smoked out and really nice, I'm going to go back with the shade Teal Me More from Dose of Colors, and then I'm going to use my 242 again to apply that. I went in with my finger at first, but I was like, oh shit, I'm going to mess it up because it was like getting all over the place. So definitely went in with a brush for this to make it look a little more precise. And then of course, again, because I'm doing a makeup with someone else and I'm a hot mess, I forgot to do mascara on her lower lashes. I could have like screamed when I saw this footage and then I forgot to do that. So please put lower lash mascara on someone, thank you. So then I'm going to do her lips. This is Chestnut Lip Pencil from MAC, one of my all-time favorites. Put that on, and then I'm placing Siss Lipstick on the center of her lip and then blending that in. Siss is discontinued from MAC, but Naturally Transformed is another one we make, and it's like exactly the same except in a matte finish, so that would give you this same kind of look. So again, just blending that liner into the lipstick, but then I wanted a little bit more of a lightness in the center, so I took No Shade from the Desi and Katie collection from Dose Colors, and I applied that just in the center to give a little bit more of a pop, and then I really made sure to blend that into the Siss color and the Chestnut Lip Pencil, and I kind of went right up to the edges, as you can see here, really blended it in because I didn't want like a 90s like dark line, you know what I'm saying? I really wanted it to fade together. So that is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like how the look turned out and everything. Yeah, and if you would like to see more videos like this from me, if you would like to see more videos on clients or people with a different skin tone than mine, please leave me suggestions down below on other things you want to see. Also, if you have any more questions that I didn't answer in this video, please leave those questions down below and I will definitely answer them for you. Yeah, so that is it. Please turn on notifications if you haven't yet, and I will see you next time. Bye. Always leave me. Why do I, baby? Why do I love the touch but never